Howdy folks, welcome back, and today we're going to look at our chicken coop, the Producers Pride XL Sentinel model. Our chicken coop, we decided on this location, which is on a little bit of a slope, so we did orient it towards the sun, especially the winter sun, for the run here. We figured they'd be okay in the hen house, but the chicken run here, we wanted them to at least come out, you know, winter time, have some sun as much as possible. So that's the way we oriented it, basically south. We are on a slope, so and this is on blocks. I did put it on blocks particularly just to level it, number one, but also to raise the height for walking under. It was a little bit more comfortable. The downside to that is protecting the ground here. So we did use some hardware cloth and whatever bricks we had on hand. We used these anchor blocks here and pavers around the other side. So the other side is a little shorter. This is a little taller of a gap. So right here we used big anchor blocks. Nothing's going through there. And we did take the hardware cloth underneath those. Probably a little bit of overkill, but we started building it and just had to add on to protect this area. We have not had any problems. You know, we got possum, raccoon, fox, dogs, everything around here. But so far there's been no issue, no evidence of predators trying to get through here. So let me show you what else we got going on with this. Okay, right here you can see we've got some night lights, some LED lights that we purchased to go on here on different sides. I hit my head several times on this bar, which is one reason I like to raise up the whole coop. But I hit my head here, and there's one inside. So on both of these, we just put some zip ties and pool noodles, partly for protection, partly as a visual warning. You know, hey, watch out! I've hit it. I've backed into it. It's smarted enough to make me put a pool noodle on it. This light, we put a little plywood on the back as a backing board to screw that into. Now, one of the downsides that we've experienced is the hardware on the front door and the back door, which I'll show you. You know, here, I don't know what this is actually called, but this latch has come off. It was connected to one of these screws, and that's come off. Luckily, this wheel and the barrel are still attached, so it still works. It's just, you know, this thing is loose and you have to pop it in. Okay, so here's the other problem that we've had. This wasn't there. We added this on, but this is just completely come off. The barrel here came off. There's nothing to stop this door, you know, and there's no foul play where we're not slamming the door. This barrel still came off, and now this is sharp. I'll probably get something to pop out these rivets with, and then we just unscrewed this. This part was fine, but we unscrewed it just because this wasn't here. There's no purpose for it. So a little bit scratchy. You know, we bump on it when we open the door sometimes. You can see here where the barrel used to be. There was a latch over here that we unscrewed, but the barrel was here, stretching across, and the weld came off. Sort of scratchy, sort of pokey and sharp there. There's 4 of these rivets that we're going to take off. If we can drill those out, pop them loose. Might even soften these holes because these are a little sharp too over here on where the screws used to be. This barrel we just bought from a local hardware store, and it is much better. Love that thing a lot, actually. It works much better than this. Now the hardware is pretty good on this, but it definitely could be upgraded a little bit out of the box. These barrels don't always line up, even though the building is level on this window. I'm gonna get rid of this because this is sharp and poking people trying to get in. So we're gonna try to drill it out with a drill and these Cobalt bits from Bosch. Okay, to drill this out, we're gonna be using these Bosch Cobalt M42 bits. I think there's two types of Cobalt. I wanna say it's M35 and this M42. I may be wrong on that M35 part, but there's two types. I recommend the M42 if you're going to buy Cobalt. Just go ahead and get the good stuff. 8%, it's 8% Cobalt. These are super good drill bits. These have been, I've used these for drilling out steel pipe, and they work really well. Kind of grind it down on these edges. So there we go. Got them all popped out. Nothing sharp. Not gonna hurt anyone. Okay folks, I just spent a few minutes just cleaning up where I drilled, getting the metal off the ground. You just don't want your chickens finding anything like that. So lots, obviously the plate, the 4 popped out rivets, and some shards, large and small. So you can see that quite a bit there. Just don't want the chickens to get a hold of that, hurt their tummies. And here's our egg door. These are also kind of tight to get in. You know, not bad, but just not great either. So I think hardware would be the one thing that we have not liked about the XL Sentinel. Double lights on your egg door. So if you do come and you forget, or you have to come at a strange hour and you gotta get out here in the morning or at night, just come out here and you get double lights here. Hopefully, you know, these are motion activated at night. Okay, let me tell you about the Omlet. Well, this XL Sentinel came with a sliding door. It was fine. Slide it with a handle. It opens and closes. It does what it's supposed to do. But we had some friends that gave us the Omlet here, and it's battery powered. I think it may have an option for you know, hooking up to a 12-volt source, but right now it's just I think AA batteries, and the wire goes to the door. Let me show you that. So here is our Omlet door. It works really well. There's only been a couple of times where we felt like it should have closed and it didn't, or should have opened and it didn't, but it's been probably 7 months, at least 6 months so far, that it's been working almost flawlessly, and we really like it. The only thing here was, you know, where do you mount it? So what I found was that the bolts that came with the Omlet, they're good bolts, but they weren't long enough to go through where the old door was. So this is right on top of the original door that was right here. This is slightly smaller but big enough for the chickens. So what I did was ended up running to the hardware store again, and I think the Omlet came with 3-inch bolts that with wing nuts. Whoa, just like this. I think it was a 3-inch, and it is not enough to go through the door, the square tubing on the outside here, and the square tubing on the inside. So I did pick up 4. So take the wing nut with you and go look size a 4 and a 5-inch bolt. I believe I used 4 inches, but you may have to go as big as 5 depending on how you do this. They stick out the back, but not so much. I still got to come back and do the bottom. So this is loose on the bottom, but it will open and close, and the bolts do go through, but you do have to drill your own holes. So I recommend Cobalt bits to drill through here. just drill through all the square tubing all the way in, whatever it takes to get this your 4-inch bolt in. But this thing has been great. It's been worth it. Definitely recommend it if you can get a hold of one, or if somebody wonderful gives you one. So love the Omlet Door. Check it out. In terms of leveling it, we just had to smooth out the ground on the corners and then put pavers on the corners. These are not really supporting the frame. The square tubing, the run, they're all supported on the end by the blocks on the end corners, and then also the chicken coop has on its corners the actual supports. Now we did stuff blocks under, particularly the chicken coop, the hen house side, where the blocks do go under just for predator protection, to keep things from getting in and under. So we've kind of surrounded it with whatever we had. So you'll see an assortment of different, we got, you know, flagstone up front, we've got the pavers over here, and the anchor blocks over there. Now we did use this water and feeder. And the brand name is escaping me at the moment, but these have been great. I'll leave a link in the description to these. And we do have a dust bath here that could use a little bit more dust right now, but this was actually just an old bird bath that was sitting around here since we picked up this property. If you can do it, I definitely recommend getting this Producers Pride XL Sentinel. It's been worth it. If there's one thing I could suggest, raise it up, protect it, and if you can, get that Omlet Door. You know, every morning, every evening it closes based on solar activity. So you got, you know, your sun's going down, light levels decrease. That's where you're going to get your door closing. In the morning, light levels come up and it opens. It's fantastic. We looked around, could not find one we wanted, and then somebody gave it to us that was a friend of ours, and you know, it's been great. We thank them for sending that over, definitely. We had a little bit of problem with the bedding falling out. You can see a little bit here on the ground maybe, but we wanted to do deep bedding anyway, so we did do a custom option here. Let me show you that. You can see here we put in this is a 2x6. We've got a 2x6 here to keep the bedding in, so we're going to keep adding to it, do more deep bedding. This is on a hinge. I'll show you in just a second. It is notched here. If you can see this notch, it's because of one of the chicken bars here, the roost bars that they can sit on. I notched it so that when it goes up, it'll stay, and it'll stay vertical. It doesn't go at an angle. Get on out of here. And and let me show you how this works, and the hinge, and it's got a latch up just in case it doesn't fall on somebody. Down here is the hinge, triangle hinge. I just used some extra screws that we had with this hinge from the store. So that works really well. Good fit for a 2x. And so that hinge right there. And then here's our latch right there. So when the board comes up, we've got an eyelet. This eyelet will come up and hook to that latch, and this notch goes right where that roost bar is, so it'll go right in there very nicely and sit vertical. Overall, a great chicken coop. Highly recommend it. So let me know what you think. Leave a like, give us a subscribe. Stay tuned, we'll be back. We'll let you know how this thing goes. We'll let you know the other projects that we're working on. Stay tuned, click subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, folks.